We start off the first topic of conversation on this right here, and this is for the people that are still not quite sold on, not quite bought all the way in on Mac Jones being the guy for the Crimson Tide. You have some fans that have come to the understanding of, having Jones be the starting quarterback is a good thing. He's got experience, he has knowledge of the playbook, knowledge of the system. He showed last season that with given the opportunity, he can go out there and maneuver and navigate the offense. And then you have the fans that go, well, I'm still not sold. I still don't think he can do it. I still do not see, Alabama winning a national championship, winning a Southeastern Conference title, or even getting to the college football playoff with one Jones calling the shots there at the quarterback position. So if you are one of those that's still not all the way sold on Jones, the question is, if you can pick any quarterback out of the SEC, we're leaving the national front out of this right now. If you can pick any quarterback out of the SEC, and in your mind, this particular guy is unequivocally, definitively, head and shoulders better, head and shoulders above Mac Jones, who would that person be? Now, make that decision wisely, because there's not a lot of proven quarterbacks back in the conference for the upcoming season. The SEC lost 4 quarterbacks to the NFL draft. 3 of those 4 were highly proven guys, in Tua Tagovailoa of Alabama, Joe Burrow of LSU, and also Jake Fromm of Georgia. Tommy Stevens of Mississippi State also went pro, but Tua, Burrow, and Jake Fromm, your more proven guys. So who would you say, if you're not sold on Mac Jones, who would that guy be for you? And so for some people, they look at, well, Steven, I think the Jamie Newman guy, I think the guy that's transferred into Georgia from Wake Forest, I would take him over Mac Jones, just because, I've heard so much about Newman. He's got a mixture of Jalen Hurts and Cam Newton in his game. Well, let's look at Jamie Newman here. He's got talent. He's got ability, but once again, he's coming over from Wake Forest in the ACC to Georgia of the SEC. He's coming over to a new conference, new coaching style, different defense. He's got to learn a whole different scheme, a whole different format, and a whole different offensive coordinator since Georgia let go of its previous guy. And at Wake Forest, he only faced one major defense, that being Clemson. Nobody's messing with Clemson. Nobody's challenging Clemson in the ACC. And against the one big defense Jamie Newman faced a season ago, Clemson stomped Wake Forest 52-3. Newman completed just 6 of 14 passes for 41 yards, was intercepted twice. He had a quarterback rating of 14. So against the best defense in the ACC, Newman struggled mightily, and now he has to come over to the SEC learning everything new, everything different, and has to deal with even better defenses, even better defensive players, more bullets flying, more consistent bullets flying, and on top of all that, not a proven guy in the SEC. So folks go, okay, Steve, let's see your point there. Well, how about Myles Brennan? I would take LSU's Myles Brennan over Mac Jones of Alabama. LSU fans like Myles Brennan. They feel like he's comfortable. They feel like he's confident. They feel like he's a fiery guy, a mature guy, somebody that can carry this thing going that, Joe Burrow kicked up and started off. But Myles Brennan did not play in a lot of big matchups where the ball was flying, the defenses were coming at him, right? He played in 10 games, but in the 10 games Brennan played in, the game was already in hand. It was a bunch of blowouts. When the game was close, when LSU was facing marquee competition, Brennan was not in that football game. The Tigers were campaigning Joe Burrow for the Heisman Trophy. And while he does have talent, all of the pressure is going to be on Myles Brennan. And while, LSU may try to simplify things for him, LSU fans are going to go, simplify what? We don't want nothing simplified, honey. We want none of that. We want the offense that Joe Burrow gave us this past year. That's what we want. We want high-flying touchdowns. We want the ball being slung around the field. That's what we want. We don't want no simplifying stuff, because simplifying stuff means boring. Simplifying stuff means archaic. Simplifying stuff means outdated. We want that Joe Burrow type offense being ran with Myles Brennan. Well, let's just be honest here. I do not see that happening, just due to the fact that all of this pressure is going to be on Myles Brennan. Do not think Brennan is Burrow, so I wouldn't take Brennan over Mac Jones, just due to we don't know what Myles Brennan is. And then some folks will say, well, Steven, what about Bo Nix? Bo Nix is good. Bo Nix of Auburn is good. Bo Nix of Auburn is talented. There were moments last season where he did put up some solid numbers. But the issue with Bo Nix is this right here. Will Gus Malzahn get out of his own way? Malzahn has an issue with, if the offense is flowing well, if the offensive coordinator is doing its job, and the offense is going smoothly, then Malzahn feels some type of way, because he's not calling the plays, because he's not manipulating the offense, because he's not handling the play calling on the field. He feels some type of way. He feels upstage, so he tries to snatch the offense back, because in his mind, he's always talked about, I got into college football to call plays. I'm not happy unless I'm calling plays. But if the offense struggles, if the offense is not moving the right way, and people look at Gus Malzahn, then he's going to try to put it on the coordinator. Well, that's the coordinator's offense. Will Malzahn get out of his own way and allow for Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator for the Tigers, to mold, develop, and help Bo Nix grow? That's the biggest issue with Nix. He's got talent, but if Gus Malzahn does not get out of his own way, we're going to see a continuation of, Auburn having great quarterbacks, or having potential to have good quarterbacks, but not seeing those guys develop. Then you go down to, well, Steven, what about one Kellen Mond? Kellen Mond's good, but it's one of two things with Kellen Mond. It's either A, he has hit his ceiling, and this is all we can expect from him, being an 8, 9, 10-win quarterback that's good, but cannot get A&M to that next level, whether that's competing for conference championships, competing for the college football playoff, competing for national championships, and at least beating consistently an Alabama or an LSU. It's either Kellen Mond has hit his ceiling and we can't expect anything more from him, or has Jimbo Fisher truly failed this young man? And if the second one's the case, then that's really messed up, because when Fisher came into A&M, the thought process was, well, he's this great quarterback mind. He's this great developer. He's this quarterback whisperer. He's this quarterback savant. He will be the guy to get Kellen Mond on point here, and Mond entering his fourth year with the Aggies in this program. Has he hit a ceiling? Can he get better? Is it Jimbo Fisher's fault? Remains to be seen, but I would take Mac Jones right now over Kellen Mond. And so then you have folks talking, well, Steven, what about John Rice Plumlee of Ole Miss? John Rice Plumlee is a flat-out athlete, 4.3, 4.4, some 4.5 speed there. But he was not required to pass the football. He was not required to throw the ball last year. Only 910 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, 3 picks. But he ran the ball a great deal, over 1,000 yards rushing with 12 touchdowns. But when you're in the SEC, shawty, you got to throw the ball. You got to pass the ball sometimes when you're in the SEC. So I'm pretty sure Lane Kiffin will require of him to do that, or Lane Kiffin may do what he's done in recent years, just take a guy's skill set and just roll with it. But I would take Mac Jones over John Rice Plumlee. And then last but not least, you've got KJ Costello here, who is transferring from Stanford, or who has transferred from Stanford to Mississippi State. KJ Costello is a big-time deal. 2018 at Stanford, he threw for over 3,000 yards, 3,540, 29 touchdowns to 11 picks. A great year, but that was KJ's best year in college. That was KJ's best year. Prior to 2018, 2017, he didn't even complete 50% of his passes. He didn't even hit 1,600 passing yards. And then this past year at Stanford, he only played in 5 games. So we only have one strong year of serving size, 2018, of what KJ Costello can really, truly do here. So the point I'm getting at here is, you don't have a lot of proven quarterbacks in the SEC. When you look at Mac Jones, proven guy in the sense of, in the 4 games he started in, he played in 12 in all. In the 4 games he started in last year, 3 of the 4 games, he's going against defenses that have marquee leaders, marquee players, big-time guys. He is seeing bullets fly in pressure situations, and Mac Jones made a lot of big-time plays. Against Arkansas, he went up against guys like McTelvin Agim, who was drafted in the 3rd round. He went up against Cameron Curl, who got drafted. Mac Jones put up 48 points against the Arkansas Razorbacks. He went up against, the Auburn Tigers. Auburn, who had Derek Brown drafted number 7 overall. Noah Igbenogany drafted number 30 overall in the 1st round. Marlon Davidson drafted number 47 overall in the draft. Even Nick Coe made it to an NFL roster, and Mac Jones put up 335 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Everybody discusses the 2 pick sixes, but Nick Saban's always been about, what do you do after the fact? Do you dwell on the mistakes? Do you dwell on the turnovers, or do you get back up, pick yourself up off the ground, and continue slinging the football, continue making plays? And that's exactly what Jones did. Here's another key point here. As explosive as that LSU offense was last year with Joe Burrow, as explosive as it was, that Auburn defensive front held Joe Burrow, held LSU to just 23 points, and it held Joe Burrow to a quarterback rating of 85. That Auburn defensive front couldn't do a thing with Mac Jones, as Mac Jones had a quarterback rating of 95.3 against Auburn. Mac Jones also put up 45 points. Jones put up 45 points against this vaunted Auburn defensive front versus the Heisman winner and Joe Burrow, who only put up 23 points and had a quarterback rating of 85 against the Tigers. And then against Michigan versus a defense that had, Josh Uche drafted in the 2nd round, Khaleke Hudson drafted in the 5th round, Mike Dana drafted in the 5th round, and Jordan Glasgow drafted in the 6th round. All Mac Jones did against that defense was go 16 for 25 passing, 327 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He's already got chemistry with Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. Just seen how of Devontae Smith's 68 catches last year, 19 came from Mac Jones, including 3 touchdowns, and of Jalen Waddle's 33 receptions last year, 13 came from Mac Jones, including 4 scores. So the chemistry is right there as well. So for a lot of people that feel like, Mac is not the guy, Mac doesn't do it for me for Alabama, who would you put above him in the SEC right now, unequivocally, definitively? But as you're getting ready to get your thoughts together, we take our first break here on the show. Upon our return, we unpack your phone calls, thoughts, tweets, text messages, and concerns after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month, or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.